Hello. Have you ever wondered, why can't I take a decent photo with my iPhone? I have wondered that many times. And I've done a little research for you guys, and we're going to go over from research and from experience what you need to make a really good photo with your iPhone. You can do it. You can take good photos, you can take good videos, and I'm going to show you how. So stay tuned. One, it's Lynn from Feathersong Crochet. Welcome to today's episode. Okay, so we're going to go over a few things today using your iPhone for pictures. We're going to go over modes, different modes on your phone. And this is for probably the newer iPhones. I didn't go back and check how far back each one did what feature. So you'll just have to play around with your iPhone and see. And again, iPhone is the only thing I have. And so that's what I'm using. And the things I'm recommending or showing you are from an iPhone. So we're going to cover the modes of your iPhone, different modes. We're going to go over composition, and we're going to go over lighting. Okay? There are lots of different modes you can use on your iPhone. You've probably played with some of them before and have used them. First of all, as far as video, there is time lapse. That's how you do if you're going to crochet something for a few minutes and you want it to go by quick. You use time lapse. If you want to take a video with the background is kind of blurry, I've seen a lot of YouTubers do this. If they're just sitting and talking and they don't care about the background, but it's blurry, so it's not distracting, they will do that. And that's used under cinematic. That's the cinematic mode. As far as stills, there's a panoramic on your phone to take shots. It's called Pano, and to take shots. Now I tried doing, I'll show you up here. This is almost a 180 shot of my backyard. As you see, it's kind of curved. Really, the railing goes this way and it's kind of showing it warped. But if you do a 90-degree pano, it comes out a little better. And for this, and I'll show that up here. For this would be useful, I would say, like if you're at a market and you want to get a shot of some of the other vendors, some of the people walking around, you could take a pano shot and put that in your video. And then now if you want to get an action shot of let's say you're throwing your plushie up in the air and you want to show that like hanging in the air. If you want to show your dog, your kid running around, and you want to get an action shot, you just go to regular photo, and then you aim at your subject best you can and take it and swipe to the left. So just take it, swipe to the left. Now I did this with my dog here. As you can see, it's not the best shot, but I need to practice with that mode because I haven't used it much before. So that's a fun one. And another one I use all the time is portrait mode instead of photo. Now for this, I have discovered I generally use my backyard. I have a deck, and I put my plushie or whatever on the deck. And if you put it in portrait mode, just like cinematic with the video, in portrait mode, it'll blur the background. And so it gets a real focused, clear, great shot of just the object you're capturing. And along with that, there's also, you can put a grid on your phone. I'll show a picture of it up here again with my dog in the grid. And this way you can follow the rule of thirds. If you know about that in photography, the rule of thirds is there's like Hollywood squares. There's 9 boxes on the grid, and you want to try to shoot your subject within the corners of that middle box, within the middle box or around the corners of it. And that will give you not only a better photo, but it helps the eye, rest on certain things. Let's say there was a skyline in the background with some buildings, and you wanted to get the person standing with, the buildings, maybe a little off to the side. So you would put the person in the, let's say, right-hand third of the photo vertically, and then the buildings over that way. Now, some people like to be very symmetrical. stand your person right in front of the skyline and do it that way with the rule of thirds with the person in the middle again, the middle section. Um, so that's just a real basic rule of thirds. So that's just a basic way to use your grid on your phone. This is just a short sample of the cinematic mode on your phone. As you can see, I'm here in focus, and my couch, my hanging on the wall, my globe is blurred in the background. All right, next we're going to talk about lighting. Now, I'm here in my office, and I have on an overhead light. I have a window to my left, and I have a closet light to my right. Ideally, you want to set up your studio or your room with the window in front of you, because that gives you good facing light. If it's behind you, you're going to be kind of faded out and kind of shadowy. The best place to put the light is in front of you. Now, I also have a little ring light that I can attach to my phone. I got that actually as a freebie in a little package from my bank when I opened my business checking account a couple years ago. But I checked them out at Walmart's, and they are, the ones on the stand or the ones that clip. They run anywhere from like $5 to $20, $30, something like that. So that's very helpful to give you extra light if your room tends to be dark. So usually I use a ring light also. Today I have misplaced it. I'm not using it right now. I think it does make a little bit of a difference though. And natural lighting, if you're shooting outside, which I recommend, most of my photos with my plushies and with my finished projects are taken outside. Now, the golden hour is what they call about a half hour before sunset or a half hour after sunrise. Well, I am not up at sunrise. So I take advantage of this. About a half hour before sunset is scheduled, you take your photo out there, and I'll show you comparison here. Here's one about 2 or 3 hours before the sunset, and this one is about a half hour before the sunset. Same product, but you can see the shadows don't play with your eyes. It just looks even. It looks put together. So I like that. So yes, take advantage of that golden hour when you're doing outside shots. Okay, let's talk a little bit about composition. Composition is fun. I like to play around with several things. Now, I've gotten used to using my deck rail as where I set my plushie. Now, as you know, some plushies do not sit up or they're too small to sit upright. In that instance, what I do is I'll show you a picture here. I take a tapestry needle, a plastic tapestry needle. You can use, if it's a bigger plushie, you can use like a chopstick or something behind it, but no one will know that you're using something to hold up your plushie when you take that picture, if you hide it well and position it well. I've also used T-pins. If it's a small plushie, like a little mushroom pop or something, you stick it in the back, and then the T goes on the edge of the platform where you're sitting it. And I would also encourage you to use different things in your background, in your setting. For instance, look at this picture of yarn. I mean, isn't that beautiful? I love bad cheap yarn. I have yet to buy any, but I'm going to one day. So if you look at this picture of the yarn, you see the coffee beans strewn there. This color is called, I think it's called Coffee Hut. And I like how ingenious is that to shake up some coffee beans, throw them down, put the hank of yarn there right on top. I think that's genius because you not only see the picture and the color of the dark coffee bean, you can almost smell that picture to me. You can smell it, you can maybe taste it. A good cup of coffee is genius in my opinion. So use something like that. Now, when I was making glass, since my company is Feathersong Glass, now it's Feathersong Crochet, I use feathers as a backdrop or as a base, I guess. Here's one of my pendants laying against the feathers, and I think this turned out beautiful. But you can use anything. Also, a lot of people like to use greenery in their background, which I think is also pretty genius, because it gives you something natural to look at. It's calming. Um, Green is one of my favorite colors, so anything with greenery in the background, I'm going to kind of pay attention to. Again, you don't have to take your photos in the same spot every time. I've just kind of gotten used to my back deck because I like how there's some greenery in the background, and you could see the wood, the natural wood of the deck there in front of the plushie. One thing I will say, I know a lot of people like to just hold up their plushie in their hand and take the picture that way. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I think that's kind of lazy. If you want to do that, that's fine. But to me, I think if you take an extra few minutes and focus on your photo, put it somewhere cool, use objects to hold it up, you will get a fantastic picture every time. So I hope this short video really helped you in cementing some photography rules. And again, I'm not an expert, I mean, this is just my opinion. This is what I do with my photos, and I think they turn out pretty good. So with that being said, thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe below if you like this video, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Actually, in 2 weeks, at the end of the month, we're going to do our seasonal pattern review. That's when I do the 22 tried and true free Pinterest patterns for you. So stay tuned for that. I do that every quarter. Here's the other 2 I've done. Let's see, one in the winter and I did one in the spring. So these are all new ones for the summer. They're not particularly summer related. They're just new Pinterest patterns that I've tried. So I hope you can look forward to that in a couple weeks, and we'll see you then. And don't forget, Wednesday Whip Knockout. Every Wednesday, 2 o'clock Central Time. I am here helping you finish those projects. We are all working together, and it's a lot of fun. We chat, we have refreshments, we talk about crochet stuff, yarn, whatever. So join us any Wednesday at 2 o'clock for the live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.